program are those of the participants and do not reflect the views of BronxNet or the program underwriters.
BronxNet. Your voice, your views, your vision.
And good morning, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Open, the one and only show that opens up the Bronx and the world to you. I'm your host, Dr. Bob Lee from 107.5 WBLS, your number one source for R&B. Catch me on each and every night right after the Quiet Storm with my man, Lenny Green. We have a fantastic show lined up for you this morning, and leading off the show will be our very own nutrition consultant, Fiorella DeCarlo. She's here. And today she's going to talk about healthy fat, believe it or not, healthy fat, and how it can help in your nutrition. Then filmmaker Oscar Sanders is going to sit with us to discuss his documentary, Billy Bang, Long Overdue. And after that, Grand Mixer DXT, he's going to tell us how he established the turntable as a musical instrument. And musical guest, Leroy McClendon, he's going to perform. Oh, I got to tell you, well, you got to listen. Tell me who he sounds like. All right, that makes up today's Music Monday, so stay tuned. All this and more headed your way because we are now open for business. And good morning, everybody. I'm your host, the Diggity Diggity Dr. Bob Lee, and you're watching Open. Today is Monday, May 20th, 2013. And yesterday marked the official end of the 2013 Bronx Week, culminating this Saturday evening's Bronx Ball at Orchard Beach. BronxNet cameras, they're right there, rolling hard and heavy. 3 new members were inducted into the Bronx Walk of Fame. Inductees included Miguel Angel Amadio, music composer from the Bronx, and then former Bronx Borough President Abrams, Robert Abrams, he was there. Award-winning actress Ellen Birkin was there also. Congratulations to all 3 of you. Stay tuned to BronxNet as we will provide the full coverage of the Bronx 2013 Ball, the Bronx Ball. Up next, Open. She's been here before, and she has lots of a wealth of information. Open's nutritionist and registered dietitian, Fiorella DeCarlo. She's going to join us, but now we wrap up Bronx Week with a look back at the Business Day breakfast. That's from the past week.
Business Day breakfast, Bronx Borough President Ruben Diaz Jr. invited financial expert Jean Chaskey to speak to small business owners at the Anheuser-Busch Distribution Center in Hunts Point.
I have to say, I spent the weekend, Mother's Day weekend, visiting my son. He's in college in Chicago. We spent a lot of time in his fraternity. I'm feeling right at home. So I spent the last year compiling money rules. These are my maxims, these are my mantras, these are the things that I hold on to personally. When it comes to your money, you've got to make the decisions that are right for you. Not right for your friends or your colleagues or your mother. Right for you and right for your family. Financial plans don't fail people. People fail to plan.
Jean Chaskey is the financial editor for the Today Show on NBC and contributor for Newsweek and Prevention magazines. She is also the best-selling author of 5 books, and now her new book is titled Money is Simple.
My money rule is that you have to save for something. You have to visualize what you're saving for. Remember, one of the most important money rules of all. It's not about having it all. It's about having what you value most. So thank you so much for listening to me. If you have questions, I'm happy to answer them.
Says, you know, when you speak of Bronx Week, what we're doing is celebrating our culture, our history, but we're also celebrating our perseverance. So we're really moving forward, and we're rebranding what I call the New Bronx. But being here today in Anheuser-Busch is symbolic because this is where it all started happening.
We've been located here in the Bronx for the last 4 years, and it's really great to see the community come out on this occasion, Bronx Week. The support we got from the BOEDC, the Bronx Borough President's Office, convinced our company that this was the right location for us to come. And when you look at our company, we want to make this a better world, in terms of what we're doing. So it's been a great marriage for us and a great fit.
This was so much fun. It's a pleasure to be in the Bronx. It's a pleasure to be a part of Bronx Week, and I was thrilled to be invited.
After the breakfast, Jean Chasky's book was made available to the audience so that they can start to implement the money rules she discussed. I'm Madeline Rodriguez for Bronx Net Television.
That was fantastic. Bronx Week, you got to catch it next year. It's fantastic. Lots of great things that you can participate in. Our first guest is a registered dietitian, now open nutrition consultant. She's back and here to talk about healthy fat. Healthy fat. What's up with that? And how it helps your nutrition.
That's
Right.
right. Isn't that interesting to actually say that, healthy fats?
Yeah. How does it help your nutrition?
Well, this is a thing. Fat gets a bad rap, right? But fat is essential for survival.
Uh-huh.
If you can think about that, it is essential for survival. You need it for growth, development. You need it to synthesize sex hormones. You need cholesterol to a certain extent in your body to do all of that. You need it for cell membranes and for organ cushioning and even to absorb some vitamins and minerals.
And to get jiggy with it.
That's right. That's right. Just a little bit of fat.
Yeah.
So now the difference is the good fat versus the bad fat, right?
Okay.
So now the good fats is what you need in abundance in your diet. And really what it comes down to is changing the proportions of the good fat versus the bad fat that you take in.
Yeah.
Sometimes people think that they have to completely eliminate everything to get the health benefits, but really it's about increasing the intake of the good healthy fats.
The good stuff.
The good stuff.
Well, why does fat get a bad rap?
Well, most people associate with the intake of fat with weight gain, and they don't necessarily correlate. In that, anything in excess, for example, if you take in excess carbohydrates, excess protein, excess fat, without having energy expenditure, which is exercise, you will then store fat and gain weight, but not in of itself. So it would only be in excess, right? Which many people do.
Yeah,
Many people do. But to completely go the other end and to take it out of your diet is not really the right way to go. And there's a couple of reasons why. One of the biggest reasons is that it does help in the absorption of vitamins and minerals. For example, dairy. We find dairy products across the board taken out of fat. We see fat-free milk, fat-free yogurt, fat-free cottage cheese. That is pretty much the worst thing that you can do.
That doesn't help. I mean,
No.
people think psychologically you think you're eating less, but you eat more.
And not just that, but what happens is this. Vitamin D is fortified in milk and dairy products in order to absorb the calcium, right? The two need each other. Calcium and vitamin D need each other to absorb. But vitamin D is a fat-soluble vitamin, which means that it needs fat in order to be absorbed. So if you're drinking fat-free milk and you have calcium in it and vitamin D, but no fat, the D cannot be absorbed, and therefore neither can the calcium.
Wow.
So you're basically, yes, you're getting the protein from the dairy, but you're not getting the vitamins and the minerals that you can get from the dairy product as well.
Because it's not absorbed properly because
That's right.
it doesn't have
That's
the
right.
fat content.
And when you take out fat out of a dairy product, what are we talking? We're talking anywhere between 2 grams to about 6 grams of fat. That's really negligible in the scheme of things. That's really not where you want to take your fat out of.
Yeah.
So that's the first thing I would say is really completely eliminate all this fat-free dairy. It's not necessary.
Where can all these fats be found?
Well, we have the omega-3 fatty acids, which are the healthier fats, right? And the way you can think about it is this. Anything in its natural form, whether it be animal, plant, legume, anything in its natural form that has fat is pretty much the good fat. Anything that is processed and man-made and has fat in it probably has the saturated and the trans fat in it.
That's fat.
Yes.
Now, fat was a good thing when people were saying, "Oh, that's fat," and you were using things like word.
Right,
that's fat.
right. pH, right. So, but that's really, that's the way, kind of a rule of thumb, or the way of looking at food.
Yeah.
You want to look in its natural source, like nuts, avocados, legumes, salmon, olive oil. This is where there's fat there. It's omega-3. It's in its natural state, so therefore it's heart healthy.
Does it
for
come
you.
with cholesterol?
Some of the fats do come with cholesterol, but we do need some cholesterol in our bodies. Cholesterol is the basis of how we synthesize our sex hormones, whether it be testosterone or estrogen and so on. So a complete elimination of cholesterol out of our diet isn't necessarily always the best way too. And that's one of the things that you see with people on low-fat diets, right? The first thing to go is their libido.
Yeah.
You know,
it
a lot
helps
of
to synthesize our sex
hormones.
Hormones.
That's right. That's right. And so that you'll see that. The other thing that you'll see it in your skin texture, your hair, nails. That's one of the things when you see that there's a deficit in a low-fat diet. So the other thing is too is that what the food industry also kind of keeps it under wraps is that if you're going to reduced fat or fat-free items, for example, cookies or peanut butter or so forth, when the food industry eliminates fat out of a product that should have fat in it, for example, peanut butter, which, by the way, is the good fat,
It's a good fat.
what they do in order to increase the texture and the palatability of the item is that they put in sugar in the place of the fat that they removed. So in essence, what you're taking in is excess sugar when you could have used the fat because it was a healthy fat.
Yeah.
And ultimately, fat also does one more thing. It also signals the brain that you're full. So when you take out fat from items, then you just want to keep eating more,
So that's fat.
right?
Fat is good.
Yep. So that's one, in moderation, of
Yeah.
course.
But what about, there are a lot of entertainers watching us and some right here in the house ready to perform. What are some of the things they should be eating?
Well, I mean, I think that a balanced diet is key, right? You want to get vegetables, fruits, whole grains, and lean meats. This is the way you look at it. Anything in its natural source. Try to stick to things that come from the earth and in its natural state, and not packaged or processed. Usually when you go in the direction of packaged or processed, that is when you have the extra salt, the extra sugar, and the extra fat. And the reason why it has all these extra things in it is so to increase the shelf life of the product, so the product doesn't go bad. But what you're doing is you're taking in all this excess stuff. You look at something like a can of soup, for example. It's filled with sugar and it's filled with salt. And if you had made it yourself, you would never put sugar or that much salt when you're making it natural on your own. So all these packaged products have all of this extra caloric and sugar in there that's really not
And
necessary.
they try to appeal to your palate.
Exactly.
They
Exactly.
spend a whole lot of money to try to find out. There's tasters out there.
That's
Where
right.
it's, what do people like? Oh, this tastes good. So let's add a lot of this stuff in here.
Yeah.
With that.
And it's true.
Mix it all up.
And when children grow up on these type of diets, when it's high salt, high sugar, it's very different. Their palate, their tolerance for salt and their sugar is so high that it's very difficult for them to turn over to a more natural diet because it's just not going to taste the same.
Yeah.
So it takes a while for them to come over to the other side to eat natural foods because the sugar tolerance is so high at that point.
Yeah. Wow. How important is healthy eating and then leading, a healthy life?
Well, in particular, when we're talking about fats, they've done a lot of studies lately that increasing the amount of omega-3 fatty acids in your diet not only lowers inflammation all over your body, helps with the reduction of cholesterol and improves heart health, but what it does also, it increases your mood. They've done many studies on mood and depression with omega-3 fatty acids,
Yeah.
and they've shown that an intake of fish or fish oil 3 to 4 times a week increases your mood.
Salmon.
Salmon, other fatty fish, flaxseed, walnuts, avocado, olive oil, all of these things in abundance in your diet.
Yeah.
So it does, as you can tell, it does influence your mental health also as well as your physical state too.
So if you're swollen, you're eating the wrong things.
Well, inflammation in the body comes in the form of, the attack of the free radicals, which you need antioxidants for. And inflammation can be anything. It could be anything from heart disease. It could be your body healing itself or recovering from a wound or just recovering from a bout of energy, a bout of exercise that you've done. So, and therefore the body becomes inflamed because of the energy output.
Yeah.
And so in order to just quell that, because what happens over time, if your body has high inflammation over time, it leads to aging. So aging of your organs, aging of your body, and so forth.
I'm also thinking, if you're inflamed or swollen, that can lead to asthma. Your bronchioles are swollen. They are
Well-
larger than normal. And can't get the air that you need in your body, throughout your body?
Well, the asthma is kind of, the bronchial and the asthma is very separate to the inflammation that they're talking about in this particular study about the omega-3s. It's kind of a systematic inflammation, not so much of
So it
a
doesn't help
swollen.
with that.
No, it doesn't help with that. It's
I'm going to
a
try it
separate-
anyway.
Try it, maybe, listen, it's a cure-all.
Yes.
So the best thing to do at the end is to include all of these natural things. And the rule of thumb is to go to find fat in its natural form. Don't take the fat out of dairy. Don't take the fat out of your muffins. There's no need for that. You'll just eat more muffins. That's basically the rule of thumb with that.
And then you'll gain weight, of course.
Yeah, and everything in excess, anything in excess will allow you to store fat. So anything in moderation, you can pretty much balance out your diet.
I wanted to give a shout out to the class that just came in. You're not shouting it out? Give them a big round of applause, everybody. The Hyde Leadership Charter School, they're right here. Give them a big hand.
That's so nice.
Now, these are youngsters that they're getting their lives together. What are some of the things they should be eating?
Well, I would always, suggest, especially from a young age, because I feel like youngsters generally are inundated with a lot of messages of food marketing and so on. So a lot of sugar, a lot of salt, a lot of packaged foods, convenient foods, foods that they can eat right away. But the more that they can start to lean more towards natural item like lean cuts of meat and fresh fruits and vegetables and incorporate that into their diet, and drinking water instead of so much juice and soda is the first thing to go. Because we remember how it was when we were younger. I mean, I remember going all through growing up in school, and all I had was soda all the time. Water never touched my lips. So I understand how that is, but over time, the intake of the sugar for that soda alone can
And
really
candy was only a
increase.
nickel back then, I think.
Well, the
I
cost
don't know,
is
I'm
also up.
Guessing, I see pictures, 5-cent candy bar and things of that nature.
Right.
Cotton candy bars, sodas, all of that stuff.
Right.
Sugar.
That's right.
So fat is good. That's a great message. And for more on this, where can we go?
Go to fitwithfiorella.com.
Fitwithfiorella.com. You got that? Give her a big round of applause, everybody. Thank you for
Thank
coming back again. Always a
you.
wealth of
Thank
information. I
you.
always say that. And we'll be right back with Open right here on BronxNet. Oscar Sanders, he's going to join us. But first, the trailers of his documentary, Billy Bang, Long Overdue. Check it out.
He would just, for example, rip an incredible solo.
In a way, it reminded me of what they said about Duke Ellington, that he chose his people to match the music, and he wrote the music to match the people.
Billy was inspirational. Every time he went to play, he was on. And so that made you want to be on.
Never a dull moment. Never a dull moment. And it's always going to be at a high level of improvisation intensity.
There is nobody that I know of who has developed a technique on the violin like Billy.
He had his voice, he had his way of doing it, and I don't think anyone ever played the violin like he did, and I don't think anybody ever played the violin like he did again.
He had none of the instincts trained out of him. They're all there. So what's proper for Mr. Billy Bang is that the music has life and it's full of love. And he's really, really, really full of love.
Our next guest is a filmmaker who shot a documentary about legendary violinist Billy Bang, and here to tell us more is Oscar Sanders. Welcome to the show.
Welcome, Bob.
Now,
Welcome to be here.
who is Billy Bang?
Well, Billy Bang was a Bronx musician. Basically grew up was born in Mobile, Alabama. Came to New York. Went to some private schools with Arlo Guthrie. Went to the Vietnam War, was affected by that, and became a violin player, which was very difficult. African-American man, in the late 50s, 60s, when people, it's not a very masculine instrument.
Yeah.
So, he developed
coming out of the war.
Yes, but he went to Queens College, he studied law, but he wasn't into that, and he wanted to find something. He didn't want to hurt people anymore. He's very political about the war.
You said he was affected by the war. How so?
Well, being very young, he was out there. What he used to do is they used to clear a lot of the areas before the
Agent Orange,
yeah, and also like before the attacks for the I guess the guys that were coming in to fight. They would clean that stuff up, and he's seen a lot of carnage.
Ooh.
And as a result of that, when he got home, he didn't want to hurt anyone else. So he figured that music was the best way for him to...
Let me take it out on this violin.
There you go.
Strings all over the place, busting up.
Yeah. And so what happened was, for a self-taught musician, he created a style which was very percussive and, oh man, I mean, kind of before Jimi Hendrix. I mean, if you hear some of the stuff that he did, it's very interesting and very powerful musician, but very soulful. And
how do you describe that style?
I would say that style is very expressionistic, because people don't give Billy Bang a lot of credit for being such a prolific composer. So the songs that he did, a lot of times would open him up to how he would approach how he played. So he was very percussive. And he liked a lot of arpeggios, and he was very melodic at the same time.
Yeah.
And he didn't like things to be, so regimented. He liked a lot of spontaneous. So after the band would lock in that style, he would want them to open up, and that led to some explosive music.
You hear that? It's part of the show. Open. He opened up. So a lot of what do you call it?
His
jazz,
violin
you
style.
call it what?
Well, it's
improv.
Yeah. Well, he was more of a progressive musician. He didn't play in the traditional style. He was, a free jazz, and his last two albums explored his Vietnam experience, Aftermath, and I forgot the name of the other one. But what happened was, he used to babysit me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then after that, I became a musician, and then wound up playing with him. He was very good friends with my brother.
So you learned all this about him?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I lived with him.
Yeah.
I mean, we lived around each other, and then suddenly we got together because they did a film about him that he wasn't really too enthusiastic about.
So what made you want to get involved in doing a documentary on him?
We talked about it, actually, and he said he was tired of being portrayed in a way that he didn't really have a lot of control over.
Yeah.
So then we got together. He trusted me because I did some films and I had
He
gotten
could
some
lay it
awards.
down exactly the way it took place, the way it was.
Yes. Yeah.
Great.
The only thing about it was, before I could finish the film, sadly he died of lung cancer.
Yeah.
So I finished the film, and now, man, after Lincoln Center opening last October, now it's really gaining speed, and it's just out in Wales, where we got best feature documentary. So.
So he wasn't able to see all the work that you guys did putting this together.
Yeah.
What can people learn? What can people expect in watching this documentary?
Well, you can actually find out that there is an unwritten communication between musicians that is not conveyed most of the time to the audience. But it's just like I say, if you've seen Kobe Bryant doing work, or or anybody that even Peyton Manning doing audibles. There's a conversation, there's a thing that goes on, just like you guys in production. There's a conversation.
Playing, yeah.
And what you do is you actually find out. It's a very educational tool because it allows you to understand what goes on between musicians so that they don't get in the way of each other.
And this is while they're playing. There's a big audience out there. There's a call and response amongst the people who are playing, and also a call and response amongst the people who are playing in the audience.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right. And especially as you start to get into the song and you get past the melody part, now you're riding on the improv. You have to learn how to listen, you know, and because people hear, but sometimes people don't listen.
Yeah.
And you have to be able to work with one another to drive, you know, the person. And see, he was the type of musician that he would drive you as a violinist.
Yeah.
Not so much from the percussion standpoint. You know, he's very percussive. as
usually
well.
it's the drummer and the bass player.
Right.
you
Right,
know, driving the whole thing. The foundation of the music.
Yeah, he was a very prolific musician. There were very few people that could say he sounded like somebody else.
Yeah.
You know. So it's an educational tool. You know.
Where can we see this documentary?
Well, on June 2nd, it'll have a Harlem screening at Maisels as part of the People's Film Festival.
Yeah.
And that's on June 2nd at 1:30.
Wow. June 2nd at 1:30.
That's a Sunday.
What address is that over here?
Oh, that's, I think, it's
What's
either
it next to?
127th or it's either 128th and Lenox Avenue.
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, I think I know exactly what you're talking about. What's the name of the place again?
Maisels.
Maisels.
Maysles Cinema.
Now, you said you play also?
Yes. Well, I'm on sabbatical, actually. I've been
You
playing
gotta
in
chill
some
for a
years.
while, right?
It's been many years,
Yeah.
But I played for 17 years. Matter of fact, I left school during, it was around the time when the Reagan administration. It was a very interesting time to be in Europe. And a lot of African Americans weren't in Europe at that time unless they were in the military.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, it was a great time to open up and we see the world and, you know, played for the mayor of Bavaria in Germany and recorded in Milano, Italy through Polygram, you know.
Polygram Records.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now, do people in different parts of the world take you in differently or see you differently than the people here in the States?
Yeah. It seems like when you get to Europe, you see, they spend a part of their budget cultivating music, whereas in the States it seems like we like people that are already created, you know, and we buy into what, you know, other countries have. We don't really cultivate our or support our music the way Europeans do, and they know a lot more about our music than we do.
Oh yeah,
you know.
Japan, all those places.
Oh yeah, and especially jazz. You know,
Yeah.
especially jazz.
They love it. All right, so what's next for you?
Right now, I'm in production on Michael Carvin, which was a drummer that played with Barbara McNair, Marvin Gaye on the Trouble Man soundtrack.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and he also played with Freddie Hubbard and Bobby Hutcherson.
Yeah,
Matter of fact, right now, after I leave here, I'm going to shoot him. He's recording his band Michael Carvin Experience. So that'll be released in 2014.
And when are you getting back into playing?
That's a good question. Yeah, I still have my stuff.
You
I still
do?
have my, I never got rid of
What
those
instrument
instruments.
is
Guitar.
Guitar.
Yeah, so I have 4 guitars, and
You pick it up every now and then, though.
I could, but I haven't. You know, the filmmaking and doing music videos and
That's a whole other
documentaries,
thing,
and short films. You know, so I'm also working on something based on a horror twist to the Newtown Massacre.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So some interesting things, you know, coming up.
Where can people get more information on what you're doing?
At my website, which is www.malcolmentertainment.com. They can buy merchandise, and they can buy the movie, you know, and T-shirts and all kind of other stuff.
All right,
Keep
tell
abreast of
everybody
everything.
to go watch your documentary.
Watch this documentary Sunday, June 2nd, People's Film Festival, Maisels Cinema, on at 1:30 in the afternoon. And anything that you want to buy, merchandise, movies, www.malcolmentertainment.com.
Billy Bang, long overdue. Oscar Sanders, we applaud you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All righty. All right, thanks for coming down and share some more with us later on.
Oh,
okay?
yeah.
All
My
righty.
pleasure.
All right, we got to take a quick break, but when we come back, Grand Mixer, DXT, he's going to be here. Zigga, 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 zigga. Coming up next, right here on Open.
I love being in classrooms like this one and learning new things. But I'm a Brooklyn girl, and I know school can be hard. It's demanding, and we kids have many distractions, lots of other things we could be doing. Sometimes even your friends may tell you that school isn't cool, that it isn't the place to be. Don't listen to them. There's nothing more important than education. It's the key to everything else. It helps us understand our world and be better people, better friends, and better citizens. So stay in school, and don't let anyone tell you that you're not good enough or smart enough. Be a star, shine brighter than anyone else, and you'll make the grade.
This has been a public service announcement of the Make the Grade Foundation. Go to makethegrade.org to learn more.
Hi, this is Jeff Fox from 107.5 WBLS, and when I get off the radio, I check out my man, the Dr. Bob Lee and Cool Clyde. It's open on BronxNet. I never miss it.
Okay. Oh, it must be kids. Well, that's a nice picture. Come on, Anna. Okay.
Foreclosure doesn't affect just you. It affects your whole family, too. If you've fallen behind on your mortgage, we can help. Call 1-888-995-HOPE, because nothing is worse than doing nothing.
Hi, I'm Ruben Diaz Jr. I'm not just the Bronx Borough President, but I'm a father and an uncle. I can't emphasize enough how important it is for men and fathers to be a part of their children's lives. Let me talk to you about a program that's come out of my office, the Bronx Fathers Taking Action Committee, which is a committee of Bronx fathers and men formed to help uplift the institution of fatherhood while responsibly respecting the privilege of being a dad. Our mission statement is to engage, empower, educate, and encourage fathers, grandfathers, and uncles of all ages by providing them with the resources and help that they need in order to build new relationships with the leaders in our community. Ultimately, this initiative will help reinforce Bronx men as positive role models. So, I just want to take the time out to encourage fathers, grandfathers, uncles, men of all corners of the Bronx to take an important role in the lives of the children in your family and in our community, and also to get involved in this uplifting committee.
Good job, Theo.
Thank you.
Let's start it again, Theo.
All right.
Welcome back, everybody. Our next guest is known for his performance with his turntables on the ones and twos, zigga, 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 zig, on Herbie Hancock's Grammy Award-winning single, Rocket. Remember that? And here to tell us how he established the turntable as an instrument is Grand Mixer DXT in the building. Welcome you to the show.
What's up, man?
Yeah, you know, we've been playing that for like, sometimes we bring that back. How did you get that gig?
Sure, now that's a long one. I started out DJing in the Bronx after attending a Kool Herc party.
Kool Herc, man.
I'm originally a drummer, but after seeing Kool Herc, I instantly wanted to become a DJ.
Yeah.
And one thing led to another. I ended up being the DJ at the biggest club in New York, the Roxy's.
Oh, yeah.
And so I was the headline DJ at the Roxy's. And I got approached by some guys from Europe, was working on some projects, and they introduced me to a gentleman named Bill Laswell. And they said, well, one of the projects we're going to do is Herbie Hancock. We're going to produce his record, and we'd like for you to become part of this production crew called Material. And I said, okay, cool. So, I mean, everybody put in their 2 cents, and we sent the music out to California, and they came back and said, well, we really like what you guys did, so we want you to do the whole album.
Yeah, yeah.
And so I pretty much just went in and just did the stuff I did at the Roxy's, you know.
And they were doing that a lot back in the day, you know, grabbing DJs to do different pieces and records and stuff like that.
Well, what the thing was is that, you know, I decided, you know, my approach to it wasn't to just to cue the record out loud, but I was thinking of percussive things. I'm from a music family, and so my mother had a vast record collection. So I was thinking of like Ella Fitzgerald and scatting and stuff like that, and that was the concept. And it was really me just messing around and just by mistake, you know, with the fellas hanging out.
That's you right there.
Pow. Oh yeah, that is me. Cut the check. So basically I did a few things and all the fellas were like, man, that sounds good. And so I stayed with that and I kept working it. And then I was doing improvisation. So I would listen to the beat and I'd say in my mind, instead of just going digga, like all the other DJs were doing.
And it helps being a drummer.
Okay, I'm actually a drummer. So I was thinking of melodics, and not just melodics, but timing and melody.
Yeah.
And so coming up with these phrases, I put them on the Herbie record, and they loved it, and this is great, we could bring us more. And in all honesty, when I first heard the record, when it was done, I was like, I wasn't feeling it.
Really?
I didn't understand where they were going at the time. Everyone put in their own 2 cents.
Right.
So my 2 cents, once I did my 2 cents, I was like, okay, I saw where it was going. And then after all the other elements, I got kind of nervous about it. And I didn't really see the depth of where the record was going. But then all of a sudden it became a mega hit.
Blew up. Okay, I got you.
Then I was like, okay, I got you. The next thing you know, we're in London, England, and it was the week they announced the Grammy nominations, and then we got a call that we got nominated for the Grammys, and the rest is history.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Look at that. But you worked with a number of people after that or before that?
I'm part of Material, so we the production company. So we worked with Nona Hendrix. We did Mick Jagger. Once we did Rocket, once that was successful, everyone started calling them for the Material production company to produce several artists. Gil Scott Heron, bless him, who's no longer with us. Sly and Robbie, Bootsy Collins. I can go on and on.
So you became totally a different DJ. I mean, not just doing parties and stuff like that everybody does. You took it and used it, your turntables, as a musical instrument.
Yeah, I basically turned it into what I call a turn fiddle.
Turn fiddle.
Yeah, because the whole concept of using the fiddle, that's the way I played the turntable.
Yeah.
And so I would create pitches from speed and touch. And no one ever did that. And so I ended up being part of the ensemble of the Rocket Band, which was also something never been done. That was never done. Someone actually playing in a band, like you just saw, as a soloist with one of the greatest jazz musicians that's ever existed. And I couldn't ask for a better
You know what? You started something, because I tell you what they're doing today, and you probably saw it. You probably watch it.
Yeah.
People, you got one guy on a turntables with all these gadgets and everything,
right?
And he's doing the music or the soundtrack for a video, a documentary that's playing in the background with
real time.
With nature and all that stuff, whatever they're playing.
Yeah.
I was watching it the other day on TV. I said, oh, they're taking this DJ thing to new heights here.
Well, the whole concept was to be able to interact with, because even a DJ, when he's looking at the crowd, that's his thing. His job is to interact with the crowd and see and feel what's happening and keep that vibe going, keep that energy going. You know what I'm saying? And so now it's all visual. You can put it on the screen and it's the same task.
Yeah.
You still have to, improvise based on what you see visually and keep that energy going. So it's the same thing.
I like that response when I throw in a really good mix and the whole crowd goes, ah! And you just keep it going like that. All right, what's next? And
what's next?
Take it in the crates.
And a lot of cats, some people have planned sets,
right?
And then there's the guys who we call selectors,
right?
Like Africa Bambaataa, who's a master of that. He can come in, look at a crowd,
bounce right off of that crowd,
and just go.
Yeah.
It could be 2 people on the dance floor. When he's done, the whole crowd is on the floor.
When you come in with a planned set, it's like you're really playing for yourself, because you don't know what that crowd wants
you're generally
that night.
playing for yourself.
Like it's a different feel. It could be raining outside, or something could be different.
At the Roxy's, I never had a planned set. I would always just feel the crowd and pick up a vibe of what they were doing.
Right.
And then I would go for it. And so, it's hit or miss. But sometimes, especially when back then the record companies would bring you the vinyl, and you'd play it on, okay, I'll throw this on and see what happens. And you give them like 10 seconds and you see, 20% of the dance floor start clearing out, you quickly
Yeah. Oh, this is too new for them. Let
yeah,
me go
yeah,
back.
you go to something hot to try to offset it, bring it back. Yeah.
Tell us about what you're doing with, you have a project with T.S. Monk, John Coltrane. And
That was a project I recently, I did it a while ago now, but I just found out recently it's one of the top-selling jazz records of all time. It was Thelonious Monk and John Coltrane, recorded in 1957 in Carnegie Hall, and the tape was lost in 1957.
Wow.
And they found it a few years ago in the Library of Congress, and through Cecil Brooks, a jazz musician himself, drummer, introduced me to Monk at his club, Cecil's in West Orange. And he said, man, this is the guy for the job. I'm a Pro Tools expert also.
Oh, get out of here.
So yeah, so
I
he
gotta
said,
hang out
man,
with you. What's your number?
so he said, man, he's a Pro Tools expert and he can definitely help you.
Yeah.
So he said, okay. He gave me the master tape. Blue Note called me and said, okay, you got the gig. And it was an incredible experience because I actually invented a technique called forensic editing in the process of trying to restore this tape. Yeah, because it scared me.
Forensic editing. Woo! Okay, we're gonna write that down. We're gonna find out what it's all about. You probably see his name if you Google it.
Yeah. So I did that, and now it's one of the top-selling jazz records of all time.
Isn't that something? And the son was here a couple of weeks ago. T.S.
Yeah, T.S.
Yeah. He's a drummer also.
Yeah, he's also a drummer. Yeah.
You guys hang out a little bit?
Sometime. I haven't seen him in a minute, but as a matter of fact, I saw him about a month ago. I saw him about a month ago.
Yeah, that's good. So what else are you working on? I mean, you got this.
Right now,
things happen.
Yeah, I'm the executive producer of the Jam Master Jay tribute record, which is a huge project. It's 5 CDs, and what we're doing is there's 2 foundations: Jam Master Jay for the youth and Jam Master Jay Music Foundation.
Yeah.
And what I'm doing is I'm doing the real talent search.
Run DMC's involved?
We're trying to get Run and DMC to at least give us one piece each. I'm not sure if they're going to do something together, but we want them involved with it. But this is the family of Jam Master Jay.
Yeah.
His mother brought it to my attention that I was his hero.
Wow.
And so I couldn't say no. And so I decided to produce the record, and then pull in several producers once it became, first it started with 1 CD, then it became 2, and I decided, let me do it in the spirit of Jam Master Jay. Instead of having a record that would have everyone talking about Jam Master Jay, I would just have a record collection of 4 crates of what a real hip-hop DJ would have in their record collection, and that would be a genre-less collection. So we'd going from Beethoven to Bob Marley.
Yeah.
You know, the way we would dig for records, we would look in every genre, but we'd look for beats.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So we'd find a classical record with a beat on it. You know what I'm saying? And so that's the way this record is going to shape. And then I also decided to add in the spoken word element. So I got 10 different spoken word performances that will be accompanied by a soloist musician that will play based on the dynamics of the poetry, which will make it really organic to break up the record.
That sounds exciting.
It's a huge project.
And for those of you who don't know, Jam Master Jay was gunned down a few years back.
Yeah, he was
in
murdered.
his studio.
In his studio, yes. Unfortunately.
Was it about 4 years now?
Nah, we're going
It
into
seems like time is
10, almost 10 years.
Is it 10 years?
Yeah.
I can't even tell when the times anymore, you know, different things.
I got a few other things I'm doing. I just had a meeting with Kool Moe Dee, who's actually on the comeback.
Kool Moe Dee.
Yeah, which
now that's a great rapper right there.
Well,
he's deep.
Yeah, he's
before his time.
and he's ready to go. He's ready right now. I'm also working with Dougie Fresh. A lot of the old cats are starting to come back. I got an artist named let's see which one. There's so many.
Maybe Dougie will bring you up to the radio station. He just started a show on WBLF.
Yeah, he told me about that. Working with the artist D Rose. I can go on forever.
Yeah.
And then there's another project. One of my real baby projects is called Draped to Maniac. Y'all have to look that up to see what that means. Draped to Maniac.
Draped to Maniac. You got a lot of things going, man.
Yeah.
And, you know, I mean, I've never met you before. I don't believe. I've been all over the place and different clubs and stuff. We probably have. I just don't remember.
I'm sure we met years ago at the Roxy. I was going to say Rikers Island, but that's
at the Rock, not the Roxy, at the Rock, right?
Yeah, not the Roxy. The
it
Rock.
could be Rikers Island. I was doing a lot of shows at Rikers Island.
No, that's a joke.
I took it to heart because I was in there, doing shows.
Right. But yeah, man, it's a lot of work. I'm actually scoring a film at the moment. Right now, I'm scoring a film. It's called the Check the Rhyme.
Yeah. Wow.
It's a documentary about the content of lyrics and its effect on socially on the youngsters.
And all of this is on your page. You have a web page and all that stuff.
Well, right now, my page is down. I'm having it rebuilt because of
You need to, because you got a lot of stuff that you're working on.
Yeah, I'm in the middle of a debate over a title transfer master.
Right.
That someone else.
Yeah.
Says they owned it, so it's that kind of thing. Yeah.
I got you. I know all about it. Well, not yours, but I know about those situations.
Those situations, right.
But you got the Facebook and all that stuff.
Yeah, Facebook, all that stuff.
Social media.
Yeah,
Where can we go?
You can hit me up at Facebook, and everything will come up there. Also, you can go to, well, actually, I have a Facebook account, and I have the Facebook fan page.
Mm-hmm.
So those two are the working two pages I have working right now.
All right, there you go. Grand Mixer DXT doing a whole lot. Give him a big round of applause, everybody. Oh, thank you so much, man. Thanks for coming
My brother.
by and stop
Yes,
by
sir.
again, man.
Oh, absolutely.
All
Absolutely.
right. All right, stay right here because when we come back, Lerone McClendon, he's going to perform for us right here on Channel 67's Open. We'll be right back.
Come on, Theo. Hi, I'm Ruben Diaz Jr. I'm not just the Bronx Borough President, but I'm a father and an uncle. I can't emphasize enough how important it is for men and fathers to be a part of their children's lives. Let me talk to you about a program that's come out of my office, the Bronx Fathers Taking Action Committee, which is a committee of Bronx fathers and men formed to help uplift the institution of fatherhood while responsibly respecting the privilege of being a dad. Our mission statement is to engage, empower, educate, and encourage fathers, grandfathers, and uncles of all ages by providing them with the resources and help that they need in order to build new relationships with the leaders in our community. Ultimately, this initiative will help reinforce Bronx men as positive role models. So, I just want to take the time out to encourage fathers, grandfathers, uncles, men of all corners of the Bronx to take an important role in the lives of the children in your family and in our community, and also to get involved in this uplifting committee.
Good job, Theo.
Thank you.
Let's start it again, Theo.
All right.
Hi, I'm Darren Jaime, the host of Open on Wednesdays, and we invite you to join us as we explore in the world of news, politics, and current events every Wednesday at 10 a.m. here on Open.
Underneath everything we are, underneath everything we do, we are all people, connected, interdependent, united. And when we reach out a hand to one, we can influence the condition of all. That's what it means to live united.
dreams and good grades aren't enough to get into college. There are actual steps you need to take. Finding someone who can help is the first and most important. For the next steps, go to knowhowtogo.org.
Megan, you're a tramp. Ryan Fitch told me you guys made out. Everybody knows. He says you're the most desperate girl he knows, besides your mom. How many boyfriends does she have anyway? Lots? That zit is huge. Zit face. Ugly.
Did you find the flashlight and the batteries?
Yes?
Did you make sure we're not missing anything in the first aid kit?
Yep.
Did you go through the plan with the kids again?
Yes. The more you prepare today, the more you'll be able to reduce the devastating effects of a tornado, an earthquake, a power outage, or any other disaster.
And welcome back to Open, everybody. Once again, it's time for Music Mondays. Hey! We have the Hyde Leadership Charter School from the Bronx here with us today. Give yourselves another big round of applause. All right. Our next guest is a talented singer and songwriter who comes from a family of gifted musicians. Today he's here to perform for us. Please welcome to the open stage, Lerone McClendon. He's in the house. Yeah.
Oh girl, I love your smile. Oh yeah, I saw you from across the room, got up off my seat. Girl, I truly fell for you, tripped over my feet. It was instantly, just had to make my move to step to you. Got my heartbeat escalating, anticipating just to know your name. So long I waited, it's been a minute since I felt this way. When you smiled, it was then I knew I had to get with you. Whoa. Your smile, oh baby. Oh, whoa. Yeah, nothing else like. I'm hoping this could be the start of something that will last. Feel we have potential, hope I'm not moving too fast. We have chemistry, just had to take a chance to see if our love grows. To the point of no mistaking, pure elation, there's no turning back. Captivated, infatuated, girl, I want you bad. When you smiled, it was then I knew I just had to get with you. Oh, yo, yeah, yeah. Your lover, your small baby. Yeah. Your smile brightens up my day, baby. I never knew your smile can make me feel the way I do. Oh. Lights up a room, oh, so keep on smiling for me, girl. Oh, can't do without your lovely smile brighten up my day. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Your smile, girl. Oh, I love your smile. Oh, yeah, yeah. I love it. Your smile, yeah.
Applause, everybody. I like that. You know, while you were on, we were over there talking about you, and we said you sounded like a between Luther Vandross and Jaheim. People tell you that?
I get that a lot.
You get that a lot? Which one
Yeah.
do you think you sound closest to?
More like Luther because I admired him so much, but I never really try to intentionally sound like him. It's just in my tone.
It's in
just
there.
Just
Can
a
you do
part
that?
of me.
There you go. Oh, man, Mr. McClendon's in the house. Yes, indeed. Laurent. Talk about working with Groove City Entertainment.
Yes. That's been awesome. We've been pouring our heart and soul into it the past couple of years, and we've actually, starting to see some of the fruits of that. It's doing really well overseas, and we've certainly made some inroads stateside.
Yeah. Is it an entertainment company, Groove City?
Yes, Groove City Entertainment. It's R&B, soul, gospel. Yes.
And how did you become a part of it?
Long story. I met his wife first, but it's a long story. I dealt with some deaths in my family, and it took me a long time to get back to singing. And one Sunday I was at a church and I sang, and a year later, I met with my friend Gil, and we've been making music ever since.
Went into the studio. When did you find that, this is really, because a lot of people don't know, they're searching and stuff, and your vision is wide, your focus is wide. How did you narrow it down and finally find out that this is what you wanted to do for a living?
Because every waking moment, even at work, it's the only thing I've ever found fulfilling.
Yeah.
Yeah, while I'm at work, I'm a carpenter, and while I'm working, I'm always singing.
And you're singing and cutting wood and doing that whole thing.
But it really comes from my family. My dad was like the matriarch, and he's a phenomenal singer in his own right.
Great. What's next for you?
Next, we're working on the EP. We released one EP called Lover's Playground, and that's available on iTunes under Laurent McClendon.
There you go.
And you can also find us at Groove City 7 for more exclusive information about us.
Give him a big round of applause. Laurent McClendon in the house. Thank you so much. All right, Laurent. That's about all for our show. Thanks to our guests. Thank you very much for viewing and checking it all out. And don't forget to tune into an all-new Open this Wednesday with host Darren Jaime. Give the Hyde Leadership Academy another big round of applause. And thank you all. Always remember this: what you are is God's gift to you, and what you make of yourself is your gift to God. So choose your choice and let your choice control the choose. I love you all. I'm Bob Lee, WBLS. Peace.